small signal operation and models. The small signal operation and models of MOSFET. So just like how we did in the BJT, we have to derive the small signal model for a MOSFET, so that whenever we consider the MOSFET amplifier analysis, we'll be replacing that MOSFET with the small signal equivalent model. Okay. So you just say the small signal electrical equivalent model of MOSFET is designed to replace the MOSFET in the amplifier circuits so as to enable small signal analysis of MOSFET amplifiers. Can you tell me what is the meaning of small signal analysis? Why the name small signal? Anybody? All this we have discussed. Why do we give the name small signal? Yes? When input AC signal which you supply is less than plus or minus 10% of the Q point values. So remember, the Q point has VGS and ID. The input is VGS, output is ID. Remember, the input parameter in this is VGS and ID is the output parameter. So when I give an input AC signal, I'll be giving a small signal VGS. VGS here represents an AC input signal. This AC input signal should be much less than 10% of the DC value. The Q point value means DC value. Say we had fixed VGS at 5 volts. For example, if, please understand this correctly, if VGS was fixed at 5 volts, then this AC VGS should be less than plus or minus, how much is 10% of 5? 0.5 volts. It should be less than plus or minus 10% of the Q point value. The meaning is it should be less than plus or minus 0.5 volts. I hope you have understood the essence of DC, fixing the Q point. Remember, initially for an amplifier, why we bias? So that we are going to fix the Q point. This Q point, say, has this VGS. I was showing you VGS of 5 volts. How do I represent a DC voltage? I represent a DC voltage by drawing a straight line above the ground. So with a gap of 5. This represents the Q point value of VGS of 5 volts. And when I talk about this AC input small signal value, you understand it will be a sinusoid or triangular which will be overlapped on this DC. That means you have already given the DC bias in the circuit and your AC signal will overlap the DC. Please remember. So whatever AC signal which you are going to give will overlap, and the magnitude of this is VGS. It should be less than 10% of VGS. Please remember, small signal, that's why we call. when the AC input voltage is less than 10% of its DC bias voltage, it is called small signal analysis. Is this clear? So showing in terms of waveforms, this is how we are representing. I can write it as small v and capital GS, which includes, please remember, DC plus AC. Always instantaneous or total value is the sum of DC value plus the AC value. Is that clear? That's why we need to bias. Setting this Q point is by biasing, and then if I give an input signal, I'll be able to get an amplified output. The output which I'll get will be amplified. You see here, I would get an amplified and inverted output. Just like your BJT, this is output, this is input. You'll be getting, you see it is inverted. Positive half cycle, I have negative, but the magnitude is increased. It is amplified. So after amplification, it looks something like this. And please remember one more thing, this DC initial value is needed for us to amplify. But when we amplify, we are going to talk about only amplification of the AC signal. We will avoid talking about DC. So note, you say we generally consider only AC signals during small signal operation and amplifier analysis. Okay. Therefore, we separate the DC and AC operations of the circuit for easier analysis. So I'll do DC analysis first. So first step is DC analysis. Whenever an amplifier is given, please remember this. You will be doing problems. We'll solve problems using amplifiers. Whenever an amplifier is given, you have to first do the DC analysis and fix the operating point. To fix Q point, which involves VGS and ID for a MOSFET. So what do we do? First step, find a relation between VGS and ID. So you have to find a relation between VGS and ID and try to fix VGS. So you'll try to fix the input side voltage. Next is find ID using the relation half Kn dash W by L VGS minus VT whole square. Why? Because MOSFET works in saturation region when it should be used as an amplifier. MOSFET works in saturation region. Please remember, unlike BJTs, in BJT what we called as active region, in MOSFETs we call that as saturation region. MOSFET works in saturation region for linear amplification applications. So you can use this equation to relate ID with VGS, and in the last step apply KVL to output loop to find what? The drain source voltage VDS. So this is our DC analysis. Let's do it for the amplifier circuit, which we will write below. Okay. You say consider the simple MOSFET amplifier circuit shown below. So let me consider a simple amplifier. I'll include a load resistance RD, to which we have to connect DC voltage source, and the source is grounded. Okay. IS is equal to ID. I'll not show the biasing arrangement. I'll just say through some biasing arrangement, I have assumed some biasing arrangement, and I'll show a simple case where I'm going to fix the gate source voltage directly. So let's consider fixed VGS bias, the simplest bias arrangement. And for amplifier, I have to superimpose the AC signal on the DC signal. So this DC VGS voltage is the bias voltage. This is for bias. We have considered one very simple arrangement, but we know when we actually use it, we'll be talking of either. So we have considered a simple biasing arrangement. So what would be the signal here? I can call this as total gate source voltage, which is the sum of AC and DC value. Please remember, if I have to write what this VGS is, it is AC plus DC. Always we write it like that. So here also I'll show it as the instantaneous value small I capital D, which will be ID AC value plus ID. Okay, remember that. Similarly, the voltage here VDS would be what? Capital VDS plus small VDS. So always we have represented like this in the transistor amplifier also. It is the sum of AC plus DC. AC plus DC value gives you the total value or the instantaneous value. Okay. So what is the DC analysis in this circuit? First step I told you we should do DC analysis. Then we will derive the small signal model to replace this MOSFET. What would be the equation? Here, step 1, VGS is fixed. So the input gate source voltage is fixed to be greater than VT. Please remember, if a MOSFET should conduct, these are small things which we have to remember. We had already done a revision of the MOSFET concepts, and I have uploaded all the videos until today's class on the Google Classroom. All of you please join the Google Classroom and utilize. All information will be posted there only. And I'll send the rest of the notes also. I have already sent half. And all videos will be posted there. Please use that and refer to it whenever you have doubts. I'm also planning to post some few things. If it is not completed here, I'll make those videos also and I'll post it on class. Say for example, rather than calling you for a class on Sunday, I can make a video and post it so that you'll go through. And once you come back to class on Monday, we can discuss if you have any doubts. Okay. Here also, live classroom will be useful if you are interactive. You are not asking any questions or anything. So I think it won't make much difference if I make a video just like this and post it also, because we are running a little behind schedule. We have missed around 1.5 hours of class. So we are running a little behind. Let me continue with this. So in the DC analysis, my first job is to fix the gate source voltage. and it should be fixed to be greater than the threshold voltage for MOSFET to conduct. To switch on the MOSFET, VGS should be greater than VT. Next is to find ID. How do I find ID? ID is half Kn dash W by L VGS minus VT the whole square. Once VGS is known, you can find ID using this equation. And the last is use the KVL equation of output loop. And can you tell me what do you get VDS as here? The DC voltage VDS between drain and source will be total voltage VDD minus of drop across the drain resistance ID RD. Remember, whatever voltage drop is here, if I subtract that from the total voltage, I will get what is the voltage drop here, the VDS. So you have found this. And one more thing you should remember, also remember that MOSFET remains in saturation. MOSFET remains in saturation only if the drain voltage should be greater than VGS minus VT. I can call it as drain source voltage or the drain voltage, but voltage at the drain should be greater than what you remember. What did we call this as usually? VGS minus VT was normally called as VOV, overdrive voltage. Please remember, why overdrive? The drive voltage is VGS. By how much that VGS exceeds the minimum required voltage. The required minimum voltage to drive the MOSFET into conduction is VT. Yes or no? The minimum required drive voltage to put the MOSFET in conduction is the threshold voltage, and the input gate source voltage you will give above the threshold by how much you have exceeded the threshold. That's why it is overdrive voltage we call VGS minus VT. So please remember, this condition is also important to be maintained in a MOSFET if the MOSFET should remain in conduction in the saturation region. Okay, remains in saturation only. For it to remain in saturation, we have to ensure this condition is satisfied. Okay, so this is about the DC analysis. Next, we'll start with deriving the small signal parameters. Deriving the small signal parameters. Let's start off with the first parameter, the signal current in the drain or drain terminal. Okay. Let's consider the AC input voltage VGS is applied along with the DC bias voltage VGS. Okay, so we have already shown in the amplifier we need capital VGS as the DC bias voltage to switch on the MOSFET, and VGS, small VGS represents the AC input voltage. So we are superimposing this AC voltage along with DC voltage to make it work as an amplifier. Therefore, from the circuit, we know that the instantaneous value. I'll say instantaneous or total value of VGS is equal to DC plus AC. Please remember this. Okay. So once I know this, therefore, the value of instantaneous drain current, drain or output current will be, as soon as you know VGS, you can find ID. How? ID is half Kn dash W by L VGS, sorry, I should write instantaneous value, VGS minus Vt the whole square. So you substitute this 1 in 2 for this VGS, we'll substitute here. Okay, this you substitute here. So what do you get? Using equation 1 in 2, what would you get? ID is equal to half Kn dash W by L. Here I have capital VGS plus small VGS minus VT the whole square. So I have put this VGS, instantaneous voltage, as capital plus small, DC plus AC. Let me rearrange the DC terms together. VGS minus VT are both DC plus VGS the whole square. Now I'll use the relation A plus B the whole square. You say expanding this is equation 3. Expanding equation 3, what do you get? ID is half Kn dash W by L. This becomes A square VGS minus VT the whole square plus B square, right? A square plus B square. I'm considering this DC as A, this AC as B, plus twice A into B, VGS minus VT into small VGS. Correct? This is our expansion for this part of the equation. So, now let me call this equation 4. Now, in this equation 4, we can see that you say from equation 4, we generally can consider what? I'll compare this term with this term, that is VGS square is much less when compared to twice VGS minus VT into VGS. Or in other words, I have VGS on both sides. I can say, see, I'm comparing the second term with the, how can I put this much less? Can somebody tell me? What analysis are we doing? Please speak up. What analysis are we doing? Small signal analysis. Please remember, we are trying to do the small signal operations or small signal analysis. What's the meaning of small signal? Small signal means the AC input signal will be less than 10% of the DC value. See, this is AC, this is DC. So if I write this AC will be much less than DC because we are doing small signal analysis. Please remember, small signal analysis means this will surely be less than 10% of the DC value. Okay, so you can easily use this condition. What is the equation number 5? We can generally consider VGS to be much less than twice VGS minus VT, or in other words I can write VGS to be less than 2 times the overdrive voltage. VGS minus VT we call it as overdrive voltage, so it will be less than twice the overdrive voltage. Okay, so both these let's call it as equation 5. Therefore, using this condition in 4, we can rewrite equation 4 as follows. What can I do in equation 4? I know that VGS is much less than this. So VGS square will also be less than this. I can neglect this. I can neglect this term to 0. I'll remove the second term. So I'll consider what? ID is half Kn dash W by L. Let me multiply this term outside into VGS minus VT square. VGS minus VT square DC value plus half Kn dash W by L. The term outside I am multiplying. I am neglecting the second term. I'll have 2 VGS minus VT into VGS. 2 VGS minus VT into VGS. I hope you understood this. See, equation 4 which was written like this, we neglected the second term in comparison with the third term because we are considering what? Small signal analysis. Please remember that. Since we are considering small signal analysis, you can eliminate the second term in comparison with the third and multiplying the term outside with the term inside. I have just rewritten equation 4. Okay. The left hand side, the total drain current can be written as DC drain current plus AC value. Yes or no? I have shown it to you in the circuit itself. See, this ID, total ID is small ID plus capital ID. Please remember that. Just like everything. So if I rewrite the left hand side and the right hand side, we have already written VGS minus VT the whole square. Can you tell me what does this represent? The first term? Anybody? This 2 cancels here. What does the first term represent? See, what was this equation for always? This was the equation to find the drain current ID, yes or no? In all the biasing arrangements, please observe, whenever we needed to find drain current, we used to say half Kn dash W by L VGS minus VT the whole square. Hence, this is nothing but ID, the first one, and this gives you small ID, or in other words, I can equate this to this. What will small ID be? Half and 2 go off, right? I don't have half here. What is left? Kn dash W by L VGS minus VT into VGS. So please remember, we have obtained this equation. We will simplify this equation and find the exact value in the next class. I think this is equation 6. All of you drop in your USNs. I'm just equating the left and right hand side. Okay. Or if we define the transconductance, do you remember what was the definition for transconductance? GM as small signal ID by VGS. So if we define like this, we'll get it as Kn dash W by L VGS minus VT or Kn dash W by L VOV. So let's stop at this point. We are relating the output AC drain current to the input AC gate source voltage. And if I consider a ratio of current by voltage, we know we should call it as a conductance. Since there is a transfer of conductance from input to output side, gate source voltage is input voltage and this is output current. So because of this transfer between input and output, we call it as transfer conductance, or in short, transconductance. Okay. So this is, I take the ratio, what is left here, Kn dash W by L, VGS minus VT, which is given as Kn dash W by L, VOV. So this is the expression for finding GM in an small signal analysis or an amplifier circuit. Please remember, it is an important expression. For problems also it will be useful. How are you going to find the GM value? This is how you are going to find the GM value. Okay. We can also define transconductance GM as the ratio of change in drain current to change in gate source voltage. That is when the gate source voltage is fixed at VGS. What's the meaning of this statement? You look at the transfer characteristics where you have a plot of ID versus VGS. You have a plot of ID versus VGS. The transfer characteristic curve looks something like this. Sorry, this is a smooth curve. It looks something like this. Here, I am going to fix one value of operating or bias voltage VGS. By using a proper DC bias circuit, I am going to fix this operating VGS, which will help me fix the operating drain current or the bias drain current. And if I measure the slope, if I take the slope in this region at this point, whatever ratio I get, delta ID to delta VGS. Okay, this I plotted the total. Since I plotted total current versus total input voltage, I'll take total value here also. This is delta ID versus delta VDS. That gives you the transconductance value GM. So this is another way of defining and finding the transconductance GM. Okay. So please remember this. Now we'll try to find the second parameter. The next parameter which we have to find or which we have to derive to get the small signal model is the voltage gain. I hope you understood. First, we found an expression for, in the first thing, we are finding an expression for small signal drain current in terms of small signal gate source voltage. From that, we were able to define the transconductance GM. We got one parameter. Next, we'll find the relation for voltage gain in the circuit. If you remember the circuit, here I have this drain resistance and this is VDD, and the source terminal is grounded. So if I apply KVL around this output loop, this is your VDD. What voltage do I have here? I have the total drain source voltage, the total drain current. I'm just interested in the output loop. So you say applying KVL to output loop, what do you get? Minus VDD, this is your VDD, plus IDRD plus VDS is equal to 0, right? And what should I consider as VDS? VDS would be VDD minus IDRD. If I shift VDD and IDRD to the other side, I'm going to get VDD minus IDRD. And one thing, what is in this circuit, do you find any difference between VD and VDS? What is VD? VD represents the voltage from the drain terminal to the ground, and VDS represents the voltage between drain and source. The source is grounded here. Source is grounded. So can I say VDS is equal to VD in this circuit? Yes or no? The drain voltage is same as drain source voltage in this circuit because the source is grounded. If you want them to be different, how would you do it? See, if you include a resistor here, then VD would be the total voltage, VDS plus drop across this resistor. But when I don't have any resistor in the source terminal, VD and VDS would be one and the same. Okay. So we have this VDS as given by this. Let me substitute using relation. Small id is capital ID plus AC, DC plus AC. I'll get VD or VDS is equal to VDD minus ID plus ID into RD, or VDD minus ID RD minus small id into RD if I multiply. And can you tell me what does this represent? VDD here minus capital ID RD is purely a DC value. This is purely a DC value which represents the DC drain voltage, because the DC drain voltage is given as VDD minus ID RD. In the circuit, you can see if I had considered just the DC current, then the drop across this resistor would have been capital ID RD. Total voltage minus drop across this would give you the drain voltage capital VD. Okay. So I can rewrite this as capital VD minus small id into RD. And what can I write the left hand side as? Left hand side represents a total value. Let me consider this VD to be sum of DC plus AC. See, if you want here, you can write it as VDS plus VDS also. Either one you can use. I told you in this case, VD and VDS are one and the same. So since I'm considering output voltage is nothing but your drain voltage. Okay, the voltage between drain and ground is normally considered as output voltage. That's why I'm interested in writing it as VD. Rather than measuring just the drain source voltage, we are interested in measuring the total voltage between the drain and the ground, which we can call as VD. Okay, so I'm calling it as VD, which can be expressed as the sum of DC plus AC value. So when I compare the LHS and RHS, what do you infer? VD cancels, which remains the same. The small signal value or the AC drain voltage is given as minus ID RD. Correct? So what was the equation number? Did we give any numbers here? Okay, here I'll call it 9. Okay. So this was the expression for small signal drain voltage in terms of small signal drain current. But from equation 7 or equation 8, anything you can consider here. What can I consider this? Looking at GM is equal to ID by VGS. What is this small signal ID? ID can be written as GM into VGS. Yes or no? Please see, in this equation, we have related the transconductance GM as ID by VGS. If I am interested in writing ID, I can write it as GM into VGS. So what I'll do, ID can be written as GM into VGS. In equation 9, let's put that. So what do I get? VD is equal to minus GM VGS RD. Therefore, what are we interested in finding? We started off to find the voltage gain. How do I define the voltage gain in this circuit? Voltage gain is the ratio of output voltage to input voltage, and both I am going to consider small signal values. Please remember, I have to consider small signal values when I am trying to find the small signal voltage gain. You say therefore voltage gain AV is equivalent to what? Small signal drain voltage by small signal input. So this is output voltage, this is input voltage. Here in this equation we have related both. So can I say what is the ratio of VD by VGS? You will get minus GM into RD. Correct? From equation 10, if I have to find the ratio of VD to VGS, which represents the small signal voltage gain. If you want, you call this as small signal voltage gain. AV is the ratio of small signal output voltage to the small signal input voltage. And from this equation, I can easily say it is minus GM into RD. So again, what does this minus sign indicate? I was telling you, you will know later. What does a minus sign normally indicate? See, the output voltage is negated version of input voltage into some gain. GM into RD represents the gain. So the voltage gain, it is the voltage gain into input voltage but negated version. So what does that mean? It means there is a 180-degree phase shift. There is a 180-degree phase shift between input signal VGS and output signal VD in a common source MOSFET amplifier as shown. So please remember, common source MOSFET amplifier always exhibits a phase inversion between input and output signal. So we have already drawn that. Just to reiterate that, if you want, I'll draw it again. Here I can draw it again. Remember, this represents VGS if I take the total value with respect to time. So first thing, I should fix the DC value. So this is my DC VGS if this is 0. Now you have a small signal voltage, anything you can consider. Say this is the small signal AC voltage. You can take sinusoidal, triangle, anything. And remember, this voltage is small VGS. And what should be the relationship between small VGS and capital VGS? We already considered this when we derived. We showed that small VGS should be much less than twice capital VGS minus VT. Okay. So you can easily say this should be much less than VGS minus VT. Ensure this condition, or less than 10% of VGS. Either of these conditions means one and the same. Okay, anything holds good, it is fine. Now for this, if I have to plot the output, we will have the output DC value. So the DC is fixed, and corresponding to these points, if you draw the output signal, how would it look? In positive half cycle here, output would be in the negative half cycle, and in negative half cycle, output would be in its positive half cycle. So you would see something like this. I hope you are following. It is just the reverse in phase but amplified version. Okay. So remember, this is your output signal VD. We are writing total values. That's why we have shown the DC and AC. So this is your DC drain voltage VD. So this VD is capital VD plus small vd. That capital VD is what is shown as this shift from 0. The amount of shift from 0 will be capital VD. Do you remember what it is? It is VDD minus ID into RD. That would represent this shift. Okay. And what would be the maximum here? I can say this maximum value VD max should always be less than or equal to the given DC supply voltage VDD. Please remember all these conditions. It will be useful in problem. So the highest value of drain voltage, I told you we'll be finding something known as the output signal swing. Output signal swing means this one. This is the output signal swing. What is the maximum and minimum values of output which I can have? The maximum value can be VDD. Highest value can be the given DC supply VDD. And the lowest value can be VD minimum should always be greater than equal to, remember, VGS minus VT. Here I can say VGS max minus VT. I told you this then also. The lowest value should be always more than VGS minus VT, and that too the highest value of VGS minus VT will give me the lowest value to keep for drain voltage or output voltage. Below that, please remember, if it goes below that, then the device will not be in saturation. So this is needed for device to operate in saturation. Otherwise, the MOSFET will not be in saturation. It will not work like an amplifier. Only in the saturation region, it works like an amplifier. Any doubts with this? Please note down and please remember these points. It would help us in solving problems. Please ask if you have any doubts. I told you, you're always welcome to ask doubts. So if there are no other problems, let us write the small signal model. We have derived two important parameters. One is the transconductance, where we have related. You say, we know that ID, what was the expression we wrote for ID? ID is equal to GM into VGS. This represents the small signal output current, right? Small signal output current, and this represents small signal input voltage. So can you tell me what should I include to represent this element in the model? We had a similar equation in BJT. What did I include to represent a dependent current? Anybody? Which electrical element will represent a current? Yeah. What does this represent? A dependent current source. ID is equal to GM VGS between the drain and source terminals. This is a dependent current source. You say, hence, this can be represented using a dependent current source. And what does this current source depend upon? It depends on the input voltage between gate and source terminals, which is VGS. Remember, this source is common between input and output. So I'll consider this source terminal to be common, and we have the input voltage as small signal VGS, and output current source depends on this input voltage VGS. And can you tell me what resistance should I include between gate and source? Remember, it is a well-known fact that the gate current is zero. Gate current will be zero in a MOSFET. So what should be the resistance? What would be the resistance? This input resistance, if I try to find the resistance between gate and source terminal, what would I get? It is the voltage divided by current. So when I consider any voltage, I will have some gate source voltage. There will be some voltage, but divided by zero, what will happen to the resistance value? The resistance becomes infinity. So see here in the model, that's why between the gate and source terminal, I am not including anything, which means the resistance here is infinity. Resistance is infinity in this what? Input. So infinite resistance here, which is indicated by the open source. So this is one form of model. Let me call it as figure A. This I can say ideal equivalent model for MOSFET in small signal operation. But what happens practically? There is a resistance between drain and source terminals across the dependent current source. So remember, I have a dependent current source here. If this is an ideal current source, it won't have any parallel impedance. Yes or no? Ideally, remember, an ideal current source, if you have, there is no parallel resistance. But a practical current source will always have a resistance in parallel, some impedance or resistance in parallel. Similarly, ideal voltage source will not have a resistance in series, but a practical voltage source will always have a resistance in series. Remember this. So here in the ideal condition of this current source, we don't have a parallel impedance, but practically usually what happens, there is always some amount of resistance between the drain and source terminals. Though that resistance is very large, okay. So remember, the larger the resistance between drain and source, the closer it is to an ideal operation. So in the ideal current source, the parallel resistance is infinity. Here the parallel resistance is infinity. That's why we haven't included anything. But in a practical current source, okay, the resistance R0, which is defined as VA by ID, where VA is 1 by lambda, represents a process dependent voltage. So it's a manufacturing process dependent voltage, which is proportional to the, proportional to length of the channel. I hope all of you remember what is the channel in a MOSFET. We did so much of introduction. So gate, if I have the source drain, remember channel is this region which is induced by connecting a positive voltage to the gate. So if I have N-type source and N-type drain, I need to introduce an N-type channel here. The length of this channel has influence over the amount of this voltage VA, and that voltage VA helps me determine the impedance between the drain and source terminals, which appears in parallel with this dependent current source. You say, therefore, for all practical purposes, the equivalent small signal model, of MOSFET will be represented as, this is the model which we are going to consider in our analysis. So between gate and source, we don't have anything. I'll call this as the source terminal. Here we'll only be connecting the input voltage. So between the gate and source, we'll give the input voltage. Between drain and source, we have this dependent current source whose value is given as Gm into VGS in parallel with an output resistance R0. So between the drain and source, we will include a non-ideal current source. Is this clear? So a non-ideal current source is included, which will have current source in parallel with a resistance. And please remember the calculation, the value of this resistance. I think we had numbered the equations 12. Remember, this is another important equation which tells you what should be the value of this resistance R0. You know how to find Gm, you know how to find R0. So whenever a MOSFET is given, if you have to do amplifier or AC analysis, you will be calculating Gm, you will calculate R0, and you will replace the MOSFET circuit here. This MOSFET will be replaced with this small signal model. Okay. So please remember, this represents the small signal model of a MOSFET. Can you compare it with small signal model of BJT? What was the small signal model of BJT which we got? Anybody? There between emitter should be the common terminal. So between base and emitter, what did I have? H-pi model, hybrid pi model we called it as. Between base and emitter, we have the resistance R pi. Yes or no? There was a resistance between base and emitter which was denoted by R pi. R pi was given as beta by Gm. I hope you remember all this. And between the collector and the emitter, we have a dependent current source. What is the value of this current source? Yes. The value of this current source would be Gm into this voltage, the input voltage, whatever you call, VBE, base emitter voltage, Gm into VBE, or this can also be written in terms of the input current and beta. If input small signal current is IB, beta IB would represent the value of this current source, or Gm into VBE would represent the value if VBE is the small signal input voltage. And just like here, we are going to have a parallel resistance R0, so as to make this a practical solution. So remember, in a practical solution, it should model the behavior of the BJT exactly. So please compare the two, MOSFET and BJT. What are the changes you notice? We derived in a BJT, we will have a small input resistance R pi. We always have an input resistance R pi between the input terminals, but in a MOSFET, you don't have any input resistance. And the output side of BJT and MOSFET almost look similar. You have a dependent current source which depends on the input voltage in a MOSFET. The dependent current source here can depend either on the input voltage or input current. I can write this dependent current source equation either using GMVBE or beta IB. Both are one and the same. We have proved this. And there will always be some medium to large output resistance. Please remember, you say R0 ranges between 10K to, I can say, almost 1000 kilo ohms. The output impedance ranges between 10K to 1000 kilo ohms. in a MOSFET circuit usually. In a BJT, this R naught will be somewhere between say 30K to 70K, this R naught. Okay. So generally this is the representation of small signal equivalent model for MOSFET and small signal equivalent model for BJT. So please remember both. In the next module, we'll be doing analysis of BJT and MOSFET amplifiers, and we will try to find the various parameters like gains and input and output resistances. Okay, in the lab also you will be doing that. Practically also you will find, theoretically also we will find, it should match. So remember, when we do that amplifier analysis, we will replace the device with the equivalent electrical models.